Welcome to Foundations of Character. I'm Scott Wilkinson, and this is my channel. Now, this is pre-frame video number 2 of 3. So this is my second video. Today I'm going to attempt to walk you through 2 ideas. The first idea is the first 2 of 4 epochs of child development. And the second thing is the first 2 of 4 epochs of parent development. I'll put a link in the description for epochs 3 and 4, but I'm only going to take you to the first 2 today. Now, an epoch is a period of time in history or a person's life that begins a new period or development. I like the word epoch, so I'm going to use it. I looked all over the YouTube to try to find a good resource about what to expect as a parent. You know, something that was easy to understand, that gives an overview of raising great kids. I also looked for a good resource for what a parent's role is and how that role changes as your child grows, which I think is often overlooked when talking about raising kids. I couldn't find anything that I was looking for, so I decided to make my own. By the way, if you'd like to know more about me, my background, and where all this information came from, I'll put a link in the description that'll send you to a video that'll tell you all about me. Kind of like my resume. Now, my idea when making this video is, number 1, to point out to you a lot of the things a child learns in the first 6 years of life. It's a lot. And I'm only going to hit some of the high points because there is really way too much to list. And the second thing is to try to emphasize that you are on a schedule. You have 6-ish years to establish and encourage a strong foundation, and you have 12 years to teach and train your children everything they're going to need to know to be successful humans. If you do a good job, then the teenage years, they're not so bad. And lastly, if parents know what to expect as your child grows up, you'll be proactive and a little more patient. I've owned a martial arts school for 34 years, and I've spoken to tens of thousands of parents over the course of my career, and I have seen a lot of parents that wait until their kid messes up and then reacts to it. They react to their behavior. Proactive means you're paying attention to possible future issues, and you're going to do something about it before it turns into an issue. So proactive is good, and reactive is not as good. So let's get into it. Epoch number 1 is birth to 6 years old. Now, I believe from birth to 6-ish years old, kids operate on the level of genius. They learn, they grow, they're creative, and they adapt so incredibly fast. This epoch is where most of the foundation is set up. My mom once told me that when I had kids, that from ages 0 to 6 sets the personality. So I'm going to take my time with this epoch and break it down for you. I'm not going to be specific with the tiny details, but I'm going to give you a general overview. Remember, as I'm taking you through this, that when a child arrives in this world, they know absolutely nothing. They are a completely clean slate. If their mind was a computer, there would be nothing on the hard drive, just a general basic operating system. And you, the parent, you're the programmer. Well, if you're proactive. So the first 6 to 7 years of life, I call epoch number 1. This is where the foundation is established. So let's start from the beginning. From birth to 12 months old, kids start seeing fuzzy images and hear muffled sound, but fairly quickly, they're able to see and hear more clearly. They start to recognize mom and dad's faces and recognize mom and dad's voice. They learn some things by mimicking, and like facial expressions and sounds, and they learn some things out of necessity, like crying when they're hungry, or when something is gross in their diaper, or when they feel uncomfortable. But right out of the gate, they are struggling to communicate, and they are definitely mimicking what they see. Now, closer to 12 months, some kids can roll over, they can sit up, crawl, they'll pull up on things in order to stand up. They may even be saying words, mama, daddy, and maybe a few other words. They're starting to differentiate between taste, smells, touch, and the way their body feels. Now, kids physically grow pretty rapidly. The first 12 months, they often grow as much as 10 inches and triple their birth weight. That's crazy fast. Now moving on to age 12 to 24 months. At this age, they'll grow anywhere from 3 to 5 inches and gain somewhere between 3 and 5 pounds of body weight. Now they're kind of on the move. They can crawl and roll over and pull up on things, but they're moving around. Some will even be talking and learning to use words. They'll still cry when they're hungry, when they're uncomfortable, or when their diaper is full. And they will watch everything you do and they'll try to copy it. They'll also put everything in their mouth and sample it. And there'll probably be teeth popping through at some point during this age. They'll start to enjoy music. They may even dance or mimic the sounds. It's super cute. They know mom, dad, and any siblings or pets that are in the house. Now this was a super fun age for me as a dad. I loved watching my kids explore their surroundings and get more independent and experiment with doing things like run, which looks like walking fast to me. They could jump and dance and laugh. I even loved the sound of their cry. I love watching them climb things, or maybe just climb up in my lap and snuggle up, or to bring me a rock or a bug they found. They'll pinch my nose, pull my beard, pinch my lips. They studied my face. I love this age. At this point, you could start socializing them a little bit. I would suggest taking them to church. Church is a great place to start to develop social skills. And the people at church, they have the same goals as you, which is to raise great humans. You can also start programming some boundaries in their mind, like redirects start working at this age. A redirect is like saying, don't do that, do this instead. But you should use mostly actions and not words. An example would be if they throw a toy or do something that you don't want, go pick it up, put it on a high shelf, then sit on the floor and play peekaboo with them or something like that. You are redirecting them from throwing a toy by offering them something that's better. Now 24 to 36 months old, physically, they'll grow 4 to 5 inches and gain another 4 to 5 pounds. This is where you can start phasing out crying to get what they want and have them use their words or sign language, which means point to what it is that you want. But try to phase out the crying or throwing fits to get what you want as quickly as possible. You can start practicing nice words with children like please, thank you, you're welcome. And you can start practicing concepts like taking turns, sharing, giving. Sit on the floor and do things with them. Practice. You can do it through playing an easy game, coloring, or rolling a ball. But be the example. They will do what they see you do before they follow your directions using words. And be careful what you say and do, because little eyes and little ears are watching and listening. At this age also, church will still be an important place for your children to learn some social skills. And it is okay for them to learn about God. Think about this. Do you want them putting their faith into people, or do you want them to focus on higher standards, what I call the God culture? Do you really want your little baby to grow up to be like all the other humans, or do you want them to try to be something better? So going to church also protects your children from the influence of what I call the human culture. So far in just 3 years, they have gone from knowing nothing. They can now communicate, walk, talk, jump, run. They know manners. They know how to play. They're exploring their capabilities. And if you take them to church, they're learning socialization. And some are even potty trained. Now, if you sat down every day and wrote down everything you see them do for the first time, it would be an incredibly long list. You would probably have to write something down several times a day. I would suggest you do it too. Now, ages 3 to 6, and remember, we're still in epoch number 1. It's important for you to see all the things they learn, all the things they do, and how fast they can do it. And I'm leaving a lot out. I'm just hitting the milestones. Now, from ages 3 to 6, they're going to learn their ABCs, counting, numbers, all their colors. They may start choosing favorites, like favorite snacks, favorite people, favorite activities. Some may even be able to read. And as early as you can, you should read to your kids, like every day. Reading to them trains their imagination, and imagination is what invents new things. You can't really develop imagination by shoving a screen in front of them all the time. Now, they can run and jump and climb things, punch, kick, play, and all kinds of cool physical things. The number one things that kids love from ages 0 to 6, they absolutely love it, is time with mom and dad. They love spending time with y'all. Your goal for your child by the age of 6 should be fully functional. And fully functional means not having and demonstrate manners, saying yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, please, thank you, excuse me, you're welcome, whatever nice words your family does. They should be nice, sharing, giving, using nice words, playing by the rules, taking turns. If you take them to church, make sure they teach them to put God first, family second, and the world last. They should be telling the truth by this time, making good choices, making sure they understand reward and consequence and the distinction between the two. Make sure that they know mom and dad are in charge and that they should follow the rules and follow the parents' directions immediately. They should learn not to hurt people or do mean things to people. They should know that learning is good and having a love of learning is good. They should be helping the family. You can introduce them to chores, following a routine of discipline. Things like put trash in the bin, put dishes in the dishwasher or sink after they're finished. They should be safe toward themselves and safe toward others. And you have 6 years to make sure they learn all of that. And don't trust someone else to do it. Don't let society do it. You do it. You can put them in sports or activities, but vet the sports and activities. Make sure that they are reinforcing the character traits that you want at home. Now, what is a parent's role in Epoch 1? Your job is to nurture and make sure all their needs are met: food, water, clothes, roof, play, snuggles, lots of love, and also teach them things. Again, things like manners, nice words, physical things, social things, the hierarchy of home, routines and chores. You teach them to read. Teach as much as you possibly can and build a strong foundation. So your role in the first epoch is to nurture and be a teacher and lay the foundation of being a good person, mostly by being a good example and getting your kids to follow your rules and your actions and your directions. And kids are always going to do what they observe as their primary learning style and not what anybody says. They follow actions, not words. Actions are real to kids, and words are just these things that float around in the air to a kid. Kids are still trying to figure out how words and action link up. So surround them with good people, doing good things, and it will reinforce good behavior. The two safest places to accomplish this are home and at church. Now moving on to epoch number 2. Epoch number 2 would be ages 7 to 12. In this epoch, you'll have 6 more years to teach them everything they're going to need to know to be a successful, well-adjusted human and to flourish. So you're on a schedule. And you also have to maintain everything you taught them from 0 to 6. There can't be any contradictory things in there. Make sure you stay consistent with what you taught them the first 6 years. And continue to be the example. You being the example is one of the most important things. They're still going to learn mostly by watching you. And kids are still trying to make the connection between words and actions. But at this age, they'll also learn from watching other people's actions. By this time, your child has probably started school, which is a massive social development shift. They'll be around a lot of other kids, teachers, coaches, and they'll be observing a lot of these people doing all kind of actions as they learn to navigate the world. Your sweet little innocent child has now got to deal with people with no safety net, which is you. You're the safety net. And we all know there's some good kids out there, but there are also some asshole kids out there. We know there are some great teachers out there, great teachers and coaches, and there are also asshole teachers and coaches. There are also some dumb rules that your sweet little innocent baby is going to have to navigate. They'll learn about how grades work, what's expected in learning. They'll learn about sports, exercise, PE, how to interact with teachers and coaches. They'll learn about recess and the lunchroom. They'll learn how to read, how to do math, how to identify differences in things, how to memorize, how to write. They'll learn about science and history. That's a lot of stuff that's piled on them. They can handle it though. Then there are bad things they will learn, mainly from their new friends, things like bullying. Now they may be the victim, they may be the perp, or they'll see it happen to someone else. They'll be exposed to cheating. They'll hear kids and probably teachers talk about sex and maybe see some fights. But they will feel some real fear and probably deal with it alone. Starting school is a child's first real introductory experience with the real world. It's very confusing. I mean, think about it. Mom and dad say this, and this are good things. And then they go to school and they see those things are not adhered to by everyone. That's pretty confusing to a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old. This epoch can be challenging. You'll probably have to have some uncomfortable conversations with your little, especially if you're proactive. And if you don't have those tough conversations, someone will. But you will be the one that has to deal with it. So have the conversations. You'll also have to protect your child as much as possible from the bad things. In Epoch 1, you spent 6 years establishing good behavior traits in your child. The world is going to work to mess that up. This is where that tug starts, the tug between family ideas and concepts and school or social ideas and concepts. If you just take a moment to think back when you were a kid and you started school and think about what you thought and how you felt and the things that you didn't talk about with your parents, then this will help you prepare your child because you'll be able to relate to them. But you're going to have to be really proactive with talks and sometimes some actual confrontation with parents, school administration, and sometimes other people's kids. So sometime during this epoch, your kid's going to choose between the values of family and the world's value. As a martial arts instructor, I have seen the creativity leave children's eyes, leave their faces during this epoch. I have some kids that started training with me in martial arts at age 3, and they stayed with me until they graduated high school. So I got to see a lot of their life. The world confuses them, and they were taught about being nice and using nice words and telling the truth and trying to be good. And then they get a taste of the world, and they don't know what's real anymore. They see and hear all kinds of things that run contrary to what mom and dad taught them or that what church taught them. So this is why building a foundation and going to church really helps. If your child's mission is to follow God and they know about God, then they already know the world is broken. It softens the realization that there are two cultures, God culture and human culture. It's important for you to understand this because they will seldom talk to you about it unless you open a dialogue about it. Now, here are some suggestions that will reinforce what you taught them in the first epoch. Number 1, take them to church so they have friendships and activities outside of school and they have other kids that are dealing with the same confusion. You could put them in sports that emphasize fundamentals and character traits. Every sport has some aspects of character in it. Like martial arts is about standing up for yourself, building confidence, discipline, and there's a system of work and reward. The belt system and the stripe system represents short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals. They get stripes in the short term, belts in the intermediate, and black belt is the long term. And team sports teach aspects of operating on a team. Aspects like every position has a job and every job is important. And if the team works together and everyone does their job and they do their job well, then the team has a good chance of winning together. You could put them in activities that reinforce the character that you want with good people that care about their growth, success, and development. You could also make a commitment to have dinner together every day. The entire family sits down around the table to eat and talks about their day. Things that they learned, things that happened that was weird or interesting or new, things they saw or heard, Ask them about everything and share your day with them. Tell them things that you learned too. Another thing you do, spend a lot of time doing family things. Go to the park, go for a bike ride, go to the zoo, museum, go somewhere they haven't been. One of the things I used to do is on Sundays after church, we would get in the car and I have 3 kids, a different kid pick where we go and what we do for the day. You could also go camping, fishing, hiking if you like the outdoors. Something else is you can enroll in a class that you and your child can do together, like martial arts. Something that you know nothing about, so y'all can learn together. Your child will get to help you, and you'll get to help your child. Both of y'all get to share with one another. Another thing you can do is no screens, no phones, no iPads, no computers. Screens steal their imagination. They learn to depend on the screen for entertainment. They don't have to think. All the images and stories are given to them on a screen. Books are better. It promotes imagination, and imagination is what creates new things. Books develop imagination, forces them to see with their mind's eye. Besides, if you know how the algorithm works on social media, YouTube included, it's going to show them lots of bad things, so stay away from screens. Here's a controversial thing: regulate their friends. You're going to have to define friend to your child. My opinion, a friend is someone that cares about your best interest and insists that you live up to your highest potential. A friend will stand up to you when you're wrong and encourage you to do the right thing if there's a question. A friend cares about your well-being. And any person that takes your child off the best path is not allowed to be friends with your child. And that's just a few examples. Now the parent's role for Epoch 2 switches to being a visionary, a disciplinarian, and a protector. Now, the role of a visionary is to plan the future, because as the parent, you know what behaviors and skills lead to successful outcomes and what behaviors and skills or lack of skills lead to negative or bad outcomes. Besides, kids who've been on this planet for 7 to 12 years, they're not qualified to make decisions based on their development because they don't consider their future. Future is a foreign concept to them. If you haven't taught them about the future, they don't know about the future because you haven't programmed it in their little brain pewters. Let's see, parents will also be disciplinarians for this epoch. The original meaning of discipline is to teach, to be taught. The original meaning of discipline wasn't punishment in order to obey orders. A simple definition of discipline, and the one that I use, is it's a way of doing something. I mean, think about this. If you buy into the thinking that discipline is punishment, what are you punishing them for? Is it because they didn't do something a certain way? So you have to decide on your family's way of doing things. You can assign chores, develop routines, habits, rituals, and lessons. You can teach your child how to be mentally tough because that's what this family does. And during this epoch, you establish discipline through routine, practice, and lots of dialogue. And finally, the parent's role for this epoch is protector. Now, you're not protecting them from punishment when they do something wrong. You're trying to protect their mental, their spiritual, their emotional, and physical well-being. They need to see and feel your protection. You protect their physical well-being by teaching them to work out and feed them healthy. You teach them spiritual well-being by taking them to church and keep them focused on God culture to protect them from the human culture. You protect their emotional well-being by projecting what you want. Like if you project strength, they're going to be strong. If you project courage, they'll be courageous. If you project fear and are always non-confrontational, they will be cowards. Their emotional well-being is a reflection of your emotional well-being. Well, that's it for the first 2 epochs. This is where I'm going to stop for today. In my opinion, these 2 epochs are the most important. If you are successful in these 2 epochs, the other 2 are relatively easy. Now, as promised in the beginning, I'm going to list all 4 epochs just so you can see what they look like. If you want to watch the video explaining epochs 3 and number 4, I will post a link in the description. Now, here are all 4 of the child epochs. Number 1 is foundations, developing the fundamentals. This is ages 0 to 6. Number 2 is socialization and preparation. This is ages 7 to 12. Number 3 is puberty is adulthood. This is ages 13 to 18. And number 4, full independence. This is 18 until they get married. Now, parental epochs, these are your role shifts. Epoch number 1 is nurturer and teacher. You're going to build the foundation and nurture learning good things. Epoch number 2 for parents is visionary, disciplinarian, and protector. This is where you expand through socialization, but designed socialization based on your version of lessons you want them to learn. Develop your family's ways of doing things and solidify discipline. Protect them mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally by teaching them how to be strong in those areas on their own. Number 3, the third role of a parent, the third role shift would be guide and enforcer. This is where you start letting go a little bit. This is hard for some parents. You guide them about how to be an adult and navigate their now raging and confusing hormones. And to be an enforcer, you could do things like give your child some responsibility, and if they do good with it, give them good stuff and reward them, and then more responsibility. If they do bad with the responsibility, take stuff away and give them less responsibility. The more responsibility a person has, the more freedom a person has, but your enforcement should reflect the way life actually works. So no bailouts. Make them live with whatever decisions they make. And the fourth role shift for a parent is mentor. This is where you fully let go and let them be independent. They are going to be on their own and married, and they're probably going to call and ask you your opinion on things because they value your opinion. So mentor them on how to keep it all together. Know when to step in and help, and know when to shut up. Well, that's it for this video. In this video, I was attempting to get you to think about things from an overview perspective of where your child is in his or her development at different times in their growth. I also wanted to put some emphasis and urgency on the idea of 12 years. I totally believe that you have 12 years to teach, reinforce, and establish a strong foundation in your children. Now, 12 is a number that represents about the time your child goes through puberty. After puberty, things could get interesting and could be challenging, especially if you didn't establish a strong foundation. And just so you know, I'm new to all this video stuff. I will get better at it over time. I'm still learning, so be patient with me. And it would be helpful if you wrote some comments and let me know what you think about these videos, and I will see you next time. My name is Scott Wilkinson, and this is Foundations of Character.